Now, they're the award-winning comedy duo who...
They've got some lines, haven't they?
Yeah, some catchphrases. Introduced us to the likes of Vicky Pollard, Fat Fighters and Bubbles DeVere.
Now, David Walliams and Matt Lucas have left Little Britain behind for now for the heady heights of air travel.
Yes, Come Fly With Me is a spoof fly-on-the-wall documentary series where Matt and David came in to talk to us about it. We asked them where they'd drawn the inspiration from.
We took our start from the real shows, Airport and Airline. We were fans of those shows and we thought, this is ripe for a spoof. So we took that structure and created all these new characters and fitted them into jobs. And some you know, a lot of the characters work at the airports, but a lot of passengers too.
All life is in an airport, isn't it? And we've all been to an airport, and so it just felt like a great place for us to be able to meet as many different types of people as possible.
Some people might think watching those real fly-on-the-wall documentaries were almost like watching a spoof anyway.
Yeah.
Because the characters were so extraordinary. I mean, was that what tickled you in the first place? Is that what sort of got you interested?
Yeah, well, I suppose Jeremy Spake became properly famous at the back of Airport. He was one of the first kind of like documentary stars, wasn't he?
Did he work for, was it Aeroflot he worked for?
He's now at British Airways.
Is he?
Yeah.
He was poached.
I'm not getting involved in that controversy. I don't know, but I've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, they're were often quite light, weren't they? It would be normally someone's sort of forgotten their passport or something. Quite minor things, wouldn't it? If someone ordered a vegetarian meal and didn't get it on a plane or something.
They're a bit drunk. Can they travel? Or,
yeah.
or will they get their plane? That's a common one, isn't it? They're running a bit late.
One of the things about airports and airlines is that even now, in fact probably more now, travelling by air is such a stressful experience. So you've got that drama, haven't you?
Yeah, and it is stressful, and it's also written about in the papers every day. And while we were filming the show, didn't we? Just
yes,
every day.
I mean, when we were just before we were making this, like the ash cloud story was everywhere, and you think, you know, so you can and also there was an incident where people tried to get their dead father onto a plane. Do you remember that story? And they didn't want to pay the sort of the death duty or something.
That's right, they were trying to argue that he died in the airport, weren't they? Yeah. But then there was a suggestion that they brought the cadaver along.
So you're trying to write a comedy show and then things happen that are much more extreme. So, you know, sometimes we can put those, you know, little details into the show.
You were filming in a real airport?
We did filmed in 2 different airports.
And were there times, I mean, obviously you've got a big film crew around you, and obviously your film, did sometimes facts and fiction start to blur? I mean, did people come up... David, for example, you play this... I don't know how, a sort of hideous assistant behind the desk.
I can't be hideous.
I think he's very attractive as the assistant.
OK, well, I'll check.
Beautiful, what are you saying?
Beautiful assistant behind the desk, but he didn't have anyone sort of inadvertently...
We did, because we created a fictional airline called Flylo, and we had a whole, in Stansted Airport, we had, you know, a whole load of check-in desks, and people were coming to the desks to try and buy tickets.
Of course, you've got this airline Flylo, and one of the jokes is kind of how low can prices go and what eventually would airlines charge us for. I mean, it's kind of painful watching at times because you think, don't give them ideas.
No, it's quite weird because in one episode, Omar, who's kind of slightly inspired by Stelios, a little bit of Mohammed Al Fayed, he's the owner of Flylo Airlines, played by David. In one episode, he introduces vertical beds onto the airline, and you think, well, that's not that far off.
You've both gone on to do lots of separate things, but do you feel drawn back to work together?
Like a moth towards the flame?
Yeah.
No, we don't. No, it's purely contractual.
It's purely commercial.
Well, there's a certain kind of, you know, shorthand with us, and when we're doing scenes together, I think you can see we kind of know each other's rhythms and stuff, and it's a very comfortable relationship. And I do think, you know, for me at least, I do think my best work is with Matt, and
Matt, you have to say...
I have to say the same.
But his best work is with Matt as well.
Yeah, but I suppose the way technology is now, we could, with green screen, we could make the series separately now, couldn't we? If we were one of those double acts who didn't get on, one of you could be in a different country.
The characters, you know, because we obviously play different characters, and people do assume that if someone's playing a character, they've created it. We create all the characters together, and I think they're like our children. You know, some of our children look more like Matt and some of them look more like me.
What a weird family that is.
That's not how the characters are created, by the way, in the way that you create children, but...
Okay.
Lovely to see you here.
That sounds like the point at which we should end it.
Fair enough.
Lovely to see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and Happy New Year to both of you.
Brilliant. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
They came to see us about a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? We recorded that. Sort of 10,
yes,
10
clearly.
days or so.
Yes.
Come Fly With Me. Yeah, well, just so as we put context, because we're sat in a different place, aren't we?
It would have been weird, wouldn't it? Mind you, we do sometimes switch studios, don't we, mid-programme?
It happens. Come Fly With Me on tomorrow night on 9 p.m. on BBC One.